Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a review to the BBBarfly Barracuda V2. One of the best, if not the best, aluminum trainer under $200. Let's dive into it. So if you don't know already, the BBBarfly Barracuda V2 has been talked about by quite a few people. But, I still think he can be talked about a little more because goddamn do I love this little thing. Anyway, let's get into the specs. So the handles are made out of 6061 aluminum, bead blasted, anodized, and then remachined. And through this process, it decreases the handle weight, leading to a more neutral balance, adds more texture for the grip, and most important of all, it gives a very unique look that is frankly cool as hell. The blade is heat treated 410 stainless steel, which has been CNC machined, precision ground, hand polished, and has a beautifully chamfered spine. The pivot system, bushings, phosphorus bronze washers with a very unique barrel and 2-screw system. And based on what I've seen, this is probably the only one of its kind, but we'll get more into that later. And of course, last but not least is the weight system. There is an adjustable weight system with the Barracuda V2, which allows for 2 configurations, with and without weights. And we'll get into how it feels in just a bit, but spoiler alert, it makes quite a noticeable difference. Alright. Next, let's get into the flipping score. So for now, since I'm not exactly a very advanced flipper, or honestly intermediate to be honest, it's really only going to be easy or hard, good and or bad. And some of the tricks here are just going to be skill issues. So I won't really comment on the ones that I struggle with. The following demonstrations of these tricks will be done with the weights in, as I could perform it better and not waste your time with me just dropping it all the time. And everything here on is going to be my own personal opinion, so you can take it all with a grain of salt, as I describe it as my own version of blade bias, neutral, or handle bias, but I'll do my best to be descriptive of it. When I got into the hobby, my first and second balisongs were the Vulp and the Squiddy Owl, respectively, and Barracuda V3 was my third. As a beginner, I can definitely confirm that the Barracuda V2 is a very beginner-friendly balisong with the weights in, because in that configuration, it is very slightly handle biased. And interestingly enough, the weights are actually the pivot screws. I like the interchangeability, and for me it's ingenious as it's cheaper, simple, and they actually make enough of a difference to change the overall flipping experience. So let's talk about the flipping experience with the weights in. For me, it makes rollovers and chaplains a lot easier and less inclined to fly off into the distance. Essentially, that just means I drop it a lot less during those tricks. And fan-wise, it feels amazing. And a lot of that has to do with the design of the blade having a lot of meat on it, especially towards the tip of it, leading to a lot of tip weight, allowing the fans to be relatively even with the weights in. There is slight shaking of the safe handle, but honestly, when you fan, it doesn't detract from that experience. So I'm going to put a list up of tricks that I think are good for the Barracuda V2, and I'm going to have some b-roll in the back to show you guys how I look when I do it. Please don't be too impressed. Anyways, for the most part, the flipping experience with the weights in, it's been amazing. I absolutely love it, and I'm just going to say right off the bat, there aren't really any tricks that I think are bad with the weights in. Granted, recording makes it a little bit harder, so you might see me struggle a little bit, but with the weights in, it's really consistent, and I absolutely adore how it flips. So now let's talk about the flipping experience without weights. Without weights, the fans are even more of a treat to do. As neutral as even with the weights in, the fans without weights carry a lot longer. There is virtually no shaking in the safe handle, or just the handles in general. And to me, it's the most neutral balisong that I've tried out of my current collection. That includes a Tsunami Trainer with the zippy balisong inserts, the Superfly, Madco, Volp, Totori, the Orion V1.5 Live, and the Tanto Speed Channel Kraken. But, and this is a massive but, they make rollovers and chaplains feel like they have less momentum and a lot less consistent. Which, if you think about it, makes sense as you physically remove that weights out of the handles at the very end. So, physics. For chaplains, they fall off a lot easier. Honestly, for me, especially if I'm not careful, if I go even slightly too fast, they go whoop. And with rollovers, it has an issue where I think for specifically me, the Helix, when I do the 0G index rollover to the catch, it just doesn't like to carry all the way around, so I just kind of grab the blade sometimes, which is a little embarrassing. And for me, I think that's most likely due to the lack of end weight carrying it all the way around to complete the motion. Or it can just be a skill issue. Like I said, I'm not very good. So for tricks without weights in that work really well are, of course, fans, including the regular, reverse, choker, and Z choker. Those feel absolutely amazing. The fans feel so even, it's wonderful. Ricochets, anytime you do ricochets without the end weights, it feels slightly easier. Since without the end weights in, it makes the momentum, it decreases momentum but increases the speed of which it bounces off, so it moves a lot quicker. Ladders they're honestly the same. Might be slightly more difficult due to lacking the momentum to carry the handles all the way around in the circular motion, but for the most part it's pretty similar. Aerials, Helix aerials, they're fine. They work. They're perfectly. They're good. Oh, my cat's just knocked something over. That's fine. Helixes, I have a little bit of issue with. Again, could be skill issues. That behind the 8-ball, easy. The full twirl and the short stops are also very easy. So, the Helix, the aerial chaplain, vertical chaplains, I'd say are pretty hard to do. So, for me, I consider them bad tricks for the weight without the weighted BBBarfly. Again, this is purely personal preference, and when I get better, these will likely be not an issue. But as a beginner, it is a bit of an issue right now. So this is actually the first balisong that made fanning and chaplains feel absolutely amazing. And when I was learning and practicing fans specifically, the Barracuda V2 made the learning process a lot easier. Because with the Volp and the Squiddy Al, those balisongs struggled with fans and chaplains, and a lot of it was due to the balance, and it made the whole process kind of a pain in the ass to learn. I will say, with chaplains and the Volp, Will Hirsch did design it so that you have to slowly build up the chaplain experience by going in larger circles, and I will say that definitely did help. But once I wanted to do more tricks, such as aerial chaplains or just vertical chaplains, it kind of made it really hard to do big circles with those. So with the Barracuda V2, I could shorten those circles and it felt a lot smoother and easier to do. And before I got the Barracuda, I low-key even debated maybe I'll just not learn the fan and the chaplain and be good at everything else. But now saying it out loud, it's kind of ridiculous that I would do that to myself and miss out on all the cool tricks that fans and chaplains can offer. The balisong itself, the Barracuda, is an amazing flipper, and just don't just take my word for it. There are plenty out there singing its praises, but I just wanted to join the choir. looks wise of the Barracuda is absolutely insane. And as you notice with mine, I do have a gold bite handle and a black safe handle, which makes tricks such as a scissor a little easier to learn, as you can follow the bright colored handle as it flies through the air, making the timing a lot easier to catch. And God, that trick fucking sucks to learn. I tried learning it on the Orion first. Yeah, no, that didn't go well. So I started practicing with the Barracuda, and essentially it's a big bite handle indicator, and it's wonderful. So if you take a close look at it, the milling and jipping, it's fantastic. It not only looks amazing, it serves a really good purpose, and it makes the grip feel a lot better. For one, especially the biggest one for me, I'd say is the jimping on the ends of the handle for ladders. And the cutouts for the jimping isn't chamfered like a lot of the Barracuda is, so it's slightly on the sharper side. But for me, I think it's actually a really good design choice because it doesn't cause any discomfort and any pain. And keeping it sharp allows it to kind of dig in and grip tight to your fingers as you do the ladder. And as a beginner, my fingers aren't nearly strong enough to keep the continuous motion as I flip them around. Looks wise, I even debated about getting another one just as a beater because I didn't want to damage the anodization on this thing. Even then though, I've dropped it on hardwood, tile, steel, aluminum, and concrete, and it's held up really well so far with some dings here and there. I will say the screws aren't Loctited, so they could come loose and affect the tune, but honestly you could just crank that down. And if you take a quick look at it, it's held up quite well. I obviously took the B-roll after I dropped it numerous times and maybe thrown it into the wall accidentally while I was doing a helix aerial or ladders specifically. So even though it's made out of 6061 compared to some other balisongs that are made out of 7075, it's going to hold up well. And for me, I've had it for 4 months and it's just as good. Would I recommend this balisong? Based on its flipping performance, materials, and aesthetics, I would absolutely recommend this, especially if you have the funds to purchase it. The value you get from this balisong at $120 is absolutely insane for being able to choose your handle colors, which is a customization option, getting extra hardware, a stand, and a keychain. Just from a purely value perspective, that's amazing. And then you add in the flipping perspective. This flips like an absolute dream. And it's always in stock too, which makes it even better. You don't have to wait for drops to hit and then disappear and then wait again in case you missed it. BBBarfly makes these to order, which is amazing. And I got this thing in about 2 weeks from when I ordered it to it arriving at my door. And for me, I live in the United States. I do live in Michigan, so it's not particularly far from the borders. But even then, that's incredibly quick, especially having it go through customs. And for any beginning flipper out there, it flips so wonderfully. And with the adjustable weight system, you can make the choice to make it even more neutral or keep it slightly handle biased. And that flexibility makes it that much more likable for me. I absolutely love the handle weights and favor it way more than without. But Ethan from Blade Bias and Camaro EE adores the neutral flipping profile without the weights. And that just shows how subjective the hobby itself is when it comes to personal enjoyment. But it does show how objectively good this balisong is. It also feels so light, so I can flip it for hours and not get tired. I don't get those really tingly, annoying hand cramps. And wow, I just love it. And for a final cherry on top, I sold my Kraken V3 trainer, but I kept this. So that should tell you how much I like this as a flipper. So let's talk about the 3 scores that I'm going to give it. If you guys want me to add more scores down the road, I am more than willing to. So for first value, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. The value of this balisong is just so good. It's kind of hard to go think of anything less than that, because for me it's above and beyond. Having extra hardware, one, makes things easier, especially if you want to try tuning for the first time. 2, having those extra pivot screws means that if you mess those up too, you can definitely replace those. And it all comes with that price. Everything is at $120-ish. No one can complain about that price. It's just so amazing. For flipping, I'd give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. I'm gonna cut that right in half and go an 8.5 out of 10. This thing flips so well, and not only does it give you the option to go with and without weights, though those 2 options in itself already have an influence on how it flips. So I can't say anything better about that. And a lot of the times I do drop it, it's a skill issue. I'll just be completely honest. It's a skill issue. There's absolutely a reason why people like Ethan love it without weights, and people like me who love it with weights in. It's just amazing. And even he did a 18-minute long video, I think, on a long-winded praise on the Barracuda V2. And of course, last for the score, durability, I'm going to give it a 7, which again is good. It's above average. It's good. It obviously cannot handle much more beating than a 7075 or even a titanium balisong, but it's held up incredibly well. Tuning does get affected when you drop it, but there is no Loctite, and you can just crank that down. But with anodization on a 6061 balisong, you are always going to face the risk of it being damaged, dented, scratched, any of that. My cats just jumped, scared the hell out of me. Their automatic feeder went off. Holy shit. Anyways, sorry. Oh my god, my heart's racing right now. They're right behind me. Oh, they were right behind me. 7 out of 10. It's a good score. It's great. It's fantastic. And anyways, I did hope you guys enjoyed this review. I am going to be ranting in a little bit, so hopefully if you guys want to stick around for that, please do. But if not, and you want to see this just for the review aspect, you can stop here. So thank you. Please take care of yourselves. Hi guys, it's Donut here. I've always wanted to make review content, but it's something that's hard to push myself to make, for a couple of reasons. For one, I'm especially new to this hobby, and not really a great flipper, probably late beginner, early, very early intermediate, since I've been flipping for roughly about 6 months, since late December 2024. And honestly, I thought people were just gonna give me shit for not being a good flipper, and that comes with anyone putting themselves into the online space. But I don't know, I've been pretty private for most of my life. Even though you guys don't see my face, you'll really only see my hoodie and just hear me speak. Even then, it just feels like it's a lot. But I really wanted to do this. So there's a lot of people I do want to thank, but first and foremost, I do want to thank my girlfriend. She gave me full support to do my best and just go for it. Of course, I still have a job at the moment. I cannot make this a full-time job because it's my first video, so we're not gonna dive into that too much. And I recently watched a video by Dendon BMX, who reviews guitars. Well, at least for the videos I've seen, he reviews guitars and balisongs. He said something really, I wouldn't call it profound, but I liked it a lot. So he said, anyone at any skill level can make content, and if you don't like it, don't watch it. wise words of a very handsome and funny man. And my biggest inspirations for kind of like the style of what I want to go for is a mix of Camaro EE, Will Hirsch with Brand Maker, of course, on it, since he also does reviews on the Will Hirsch channel, and Telestro. Telestro especially because I've seen his older videos, and in those videos I could see how his flipping progressed, and that made me feel better about it because one, his filming was so good. I can see why they call him the camera wizard. It gave me motivation to do it. I feel like if you can do it, I could at least give it a try. And his filming style too, I love it, and the music choice too. It's very relaxing. That's kind of what I want to go for. I think the comedy and like the chaotic energy of Will Hirsch it's out of the world. They have it on lockdown. It's fantastic. Same thing with Denden. He also does it too. He also goes a little wild too, and it's hilarious. But like watching these YouTubers, it gave me a lot of inspiration just to get into the hobby itself. I honestly just saw the Wired video with Corbin talking about like levels of balisong flipping, and it got me really interested in the hobby again. And so back when I first started in last December, I looked up the best beginner balisong on YouTube, and I saw a bunch of reviews for the Vulp. And so I got it, and God, do I love this thing. I honestly still have it now, and I don't have the heart to sell it because it's my first good balisong. I will say good because it is good. To me, the Vulp represents the growth of the hobby from when I started flipping way back in the day, like 2015. I was in high school at that. Damn, I feel old. Back when I was like a sophomore in high school, I started with a Comb CCC and a CSGO CCC. They were both complete trash. Oh my god. The Comb one disintegrated in like 2 months when I was flipping it. They were like $10 for the Comb one, and then I think $30 for the CSGO one. That thing was fucking heavy too. Oh my god, did I hate it. But I learned the Helix on that, so I'm proud of that one. And $65 now in 2024 was able to give me the Vulp, which, to me feels amazing. And at this point in 2025, so 6 months afterwards, I've tried a lot of beginner balisongs, and I do believe that there are a lot of options that are better than the Vulp, including the Orion trainer, in the live blade, I have it too. The Thomas Balisong Refall. This thing is fucking amazing too, and it has adjustable weights, so I really like that. But even then, we can't discount that. So from my understanding, the Vulp was the first non-clone that was easily accessible, affordable, and a bushing balisong. And I do know that the beginning launch wasn't fantastic. There were some issues with the hardware, but Nabalis worked hard to remedy all of that. And from the general consensus of what I've seen for people who talk about the Vulp, it's something that really opened the door for other makers to contribute in the beginner balisong pricing space. And even if it isn't the best balisong now, or best beginner balisong now, it's got its place in balisong history, and it's served its purpose in getting people into the hobby. One of those people, including me. So for me, it's extremely sentimental, and I got addicted to flipping after I got it, and I watched almost every balisong video I can find, including almost all of Will Hirsch flips. His main channel too, Will Hirsch, Camaro E, Telestro, the Blade Buys videos, Denden BMX, Big Flips, Squid Industries tutorial, Pez also. I kind of just watch whoever kind of comes up, and after, unlike YouTube, after you find maybe 1 or 2 videos, it just kind of like all the balisong videos onto your main recommendation page. For me, I'm incredibly lucky to have time and funds dedicated to flipping, and I think this hobby, it's a lot of fun, and I do think it's incredibly relaxing just being able to flip something in your hand get good at something that's honestly not extremely time consuming, and I can do it anywhere. You know, with balisongs, I can sit in my work chair and flip, and people won't care. I also flip when I cook, I flip when I watch TV. And for dinner, when I'm eating dinner with my girlfriend, I also flip when I eat. You know, it kind of slows me down from eating, so I don't overeat. So, you know, see, it has something that I think it could benefit people. And I think more people should join the hobby in the community. It has its place, and to anyone trying to gatekeep, get out of here. No one likes gatekeepers, because, you know, being available, accessible, and inclusive isn't a bad thing. And to those who think it is, you think it should be reserved for this and that, that's such a bad take. I think it's garbage. If you want to give me hate for thinking you should gatekeep a hobby like balisongs or like baglari or anything like that, or like gunpla, we don't have space for that here. We don't have space for that sort of disdain and hate. And today it's in June, so it's Pride Month. So people out there, celebrate yourselves if you are part of that community. I support anyone in that community. I have friends in that community, so support everyone out there who needs it, and just be happy. I'm actually going to my first blade show in a few days, because I'm just so excited about this hobby, and I want to be able to meet more people from the community, because from my experience so far, it's been great. Back to the video about the Barracuda V2. If you guys have anything you want me to add or that I could improve on, or any questions about the Barracuda, please let me know in the comments. I would be more than happy to interact with people in the comments regarding those questions and answers. For me, I'm also here to grow. That includes getting better at flipping and getting better at filming to make something I'm proud of and people can enjoy watching. And, you know, if it happens to hook maybe 1 or 2 people into the hobby, I'd be incredibly happy. I hope to continuously see this community grow, because even I didn't think I would take this as seriously as I would have, in terms of flipping and collecting, and even taking money and time to go to Blade Show, which again, I'm very fortunate that I could do. So everyone out there, thank you for watching. Please be kind, be good, and take care of yourselves and the ones you love. Bye.